Hey, thanks for joining us. This is Calling All Cupids, where you play matchmaker. We all have those friends and relatives who have been on and off the dating apps with no luck. We're Sue and Tamar, and we're trying something different. We're not matchmakers, although Tamar did set me up with my husband.
Every episode, we present someone looking for love, a love seeker. We chat with them and those close to them. This is where you come in. You're our Cupids. If you have someone you know who is a catch and you think would be a good fit for our love seeker, reach out and let's see if we can make a love connection. Hey, Sue.
Hi, Tamar. How are ya?
Good. How are you feeling?
I'm doing really well.
Good. I want to hear more about how you're doing, but before we get to that, let's introduce a new segment that we are experimenting with on this episode. We're calling it Your Cute Fix Up Story. And it's where our listeners call in and share a story about how they were fixed up successfully. And so today we're going to feature Stacy and Larry, who shared their story. Let's take a listen.
Hi, Tamar and Susan. It's Stacy Greason and Larry Shore calling you from Long Beach, California. We're going to share our meet cute. So about 11 years ago, we were fixed up on a blind date by our two friends who were dating at the time. And neither of us really wanted to be there.
No, she lived too far away.
And he'd been married too many times, and I had never been married. But I showed up not wearing any makeup late. He was there. He was very handsome. But
she was beautiful, even without makeup.
But he didn't ask me any questions, and he didn't even really look at me. So when the date was over, I couldn't wait to get back to my car and never see him again.
But Dave told me that Jody said that she likes me and wants to go out again. And I said, well, I'd be willing to go out again.
So then Jody called me and she said, he really liked you. And I said, you're lying. And so she talked me into going out with Larry on a second date. So he came up to my house where I was living in Altadena, and we went out on a second date, and it was the best date of my life.
Mine too.
And a year later, we were engaged in Paris, and a year after that, we were married.
Yes, and it's happily ever after.
So happy.
Aren't they the cutest?
Oh my God, I love this so much. Tamar, when I listen to that, it reminds me of watching When Harry Met Sally and seeing all those couples that would like tell their stories of how they met. Was that your inspiration for this?
Yeah, that was my inspiration. I thought it would be really cute to see like all these little couples saying, oh, we were fixed up.
And I think people who are fixed up and it works, really, a lot of the people that like to share the story. Maybe it's people that are willing to be fixed up are also people that want to share, what happened.
And maybe help fix other people up.
Well, we hope so. They could be our Cupids. So yeah, let us hear your stories.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to share their story, go to our website, www.callingallcupids.com. There you will see a link to your story, and you can click on it. There's a microphone. You can record your story, and who knows, maybe we'll air it on a future episode. So, Sue, I do want to hear a little how you are doing. I know you started chemo again. So how are things going? What have you been up to?
Well, guess where I was today?
I don't know. Pilates?
No, I am trying Pilates again, which is very cool. But I actually went to play pickleball for the first time.
All right.
And, we haven't played in a long time. We started together. And I would say that, neither of us are natural athletes, but we have mastered the sports enough to enjoy it, right?
Yeah. Can I just say I saw a t-shirt the other day that said world's okayest pickleball player. And I'm so tempted to get it.
Absolutely. That's hysterical. Well, I was just, my bar is so low for myself that the fact that I can dink at all. And, it felt like my muscle memory is there.
Yeah.
My issue is going to be my stamina. And,
It'll come. That'll
It'll
that'll come.
come. I mean, I got really lucky. I had my first round of chemo, and they kept the dosage low the first time just to see how I would handle it. And I handled it so well. I'm really scared they're gonna, you know,
Up it.
they're gonna up the shit out of it next time, and I may not feel well. But right now, I am just like so happy to be feeling good. The weather is almost feels like autumn, and I don't know, new school year, things are
Yeah.
good.
Good. Good.
How
Glad to
about
hear it.
you?
I have a weekly protest that I go to, and we stand on a corner with our signs. They put me at the very beginning of the line because I have a sign that says honk for democracy. So
Mhm.
then everybody honks along the way. I would say for every 20 cars that honk, no, maybe even 30, we get like one thumbs down. It always amazes me, like white dudes in Mercedes convertibles drive by and they're like honking. And then like a woman in a Subaru drives by and gives us the thumbs down. It's like, what the heck? I don't even
Hey.
understand this country's demographics. But yesterday, the guy in the Mercedes drove by, and I said to my friend, I told her my insight about this, how is it that the white dude in the Mercedes, and she said, well, he's my neighbor, he's gay. So that explained that.
Oh,
But
maybe for Dave. Maybe we can fix him up with Dave.
I actually thought about that. And then I thought, Asheville, LA, that's a bit of a schlep. But maybe I'll ask her. Is he
Maybe he
single?
knows someone.
And yeah, maybe he's got a friend in LA.
Who knows?
So today we are featuring Pam. I know that Pam is one of the great loves of your life,
She really is.
and you are very excited for this. So Pam is 60 years old. She lives in Long Island. She works in the medical field. She's super passionate about that. She is a very attractive woman. But why don't you tell us a little bit about how you know Pam and why she means so much to you?
So, our story of origin is, I think, our first conversation. I saw her at an event, and I recognized that I didn't know her from town because I knew everybody at all the events was always the same people. And I was like, ooh, she looks pretty and interesting. So I went over and introduced myself. And our first conversation was about adoption. My kids are adopted. And at the time, she was in social work and worked with adoption. So that was how we got to know each other, was through our kids and through my adoption work. She helped me start an organization for adoption. And Pam has 4 kids. And at the time, I think her youngest was 2, the same age as my Phoebe. And then, they were older. And she was married at the time. And when I first met them, remember saying to my then husband, like, oh, I think we finally found a family we can be friends with. And within 2 months of meeting her, I discovered that her world was crumbling. It was really not all that it looked. On the outside, they looked like this beautiful family, and they are a beautiful family with 4 kids and these loving parents. It turned out that Pam's ex was involved in white collar crime. And so when I met her, they had left, the wealthy suburbs of New York, Long Island, and ended up living in rural Pennsylvania. And I mean, it was crazy. And my kids loved her kids, and they babysat for us, and we became really close. And, I was really there for her when her world came crumbling down.
Now, I had a concern when we interviewed Pam that, this is some personal stuff that we're discussing. I wondered if she would be okay with us putting it out there to the world.
Right. Well, so yes. So the whole time Tamar does the editing of our, recordings. And as she's editing Pam, she's texting me, do you really think Pam is going to be okay with this? And I'm like, I think so, but I'll double check. And I check with Pam and she's like, yep, I'm an open book. And then someone would be like, wait, you really think she wants us to say this? And I would say, yeah, I think she's okay. Pam's an open book. You will meet Pam. When you meet Pam, you know who she is. She is almost like a walking heart, a human heart. She has more
That's
capacity,
really cool. A cool image.
more capacity for love and compassion and giving, probably than anyone I know. And whoever ends up on the receiving end of that is going to be the luckiest guy in the world. I have known Pam in all of her relationships, and I really don't think she's ever had someone who fully respects her, who's completely loyal and honest, and who really appreciates all that she has to offer. I think they fall madly in love with her because of all the things that she is and does, but she has never felt like she has been in a secure relationship with a guy that she can count on 100%. And that's what I want for her. I want the laughter. I want her to be able to take care of. I want her to do all the fun things and enjoy life. But I want her to have the feeling and security of having a partner who you're their number one.
Somebody that's going to really put her first, because it sounds like she's the kind of person that puts her partner first.
Her kids are her number one priority.
Okay.
She will say, but her kids are grown. Our youngest kid is 25. So like she has time, capacity, to put love and attention into other relationships. And yeah, she has.
And one more thing that came out for me, which is huge, as you say, her kids are number one. I think she's got a little bit of a traditional side to her, where she is a definitely feminist, modern woman, successful in her career, independent. On the other hand, more than any of our love seekers, I think, and probably more than us, family first. Like, she wants her life to revolve around her family and her partner's family.
Yes.
And maybe make like one big Brady Bunch, even though they're grown. I'm not saying they all live under one roof, but like holiday meals together, visits.
You're 100%.
She wants to like be involved in her partner's parents' lives and help care for them. And
right. She's not looking for the guy who's an orphan so she doesn't have to deal with his in-laws, her in-laws.
She really
She's like, bring them on.
Everything family.
She embraces everything family. She gets so much joy out of being with her kids. She went from being on food stamps to now being able to take her kids on an Alaskan cruise, all 11 of her family. So when I first met Pam, I think her ideal thing would have been to be a stay-at-home. Unfortunately, that was not the case. But she turned it around, like, because she had to. She is now this phenomenal career woman. She didn't want to be that, but she also wasn't gonna not fight for making her life the best life possible, given the circumstances she was dealt. She's an optimist, and even in the shittiest times, she saw herself getting through this, and she did.
Yeah. Okay, let's stop here and let's just hear Pam talk in her own words, and then you and I will come back.
Okay.
Like everybody that we meet, we all evolve. And I have evolved tremendously from the person that I was to the person that I am. So, and I feel it, and everybody who really knows me sees it. So my past experiences have been lessons to really help me grow into the person that I am, but they would be completely non-negotiables now. Completely.
Like what? You want to go over some of them?
My first husband, we met when we were 18, Irish Catholic. My Judaism is very important to me. I certainly didn't listen to my family and my parents, who really weren't so much about the religion, but about the difference in the upbringing, like Irish Catholic from Elmira, New York, versus a Jewish girl from Long Island. And, ultimately it wasn't the religion because he was so open to raising the kids Jewish and all of that. It was the difference in morals and values and family that was a big deal. And that he's, bipolar and personality disorder and went to prison. And, so those are non-negotiables. Like, and then, so you fast forward like 15 years later, and I didn't really date. I met my second husband, but in retrospect, I didn't allow myself really to ever figure out who, what, or where. I was raising 4 kids, just got divorced, ex-husband in prison, a lot of stress. And it was one of the worst decisions I ever made. And it's embarrassing to the point where I almost always leave it out in any kind of new dating or whatever. And my kids are really hard on me because they're like, Mom, you're forgetting one there. Like, this is part of your history. And it is. I'm trying to embrace that it's part of my history and I grew from it. So I kind of realized I took that as I need a few years off. Like, I need to focus on my kids and focus on what I actually want and who I am. And I did. And really started building my career as my own and not my brother's or anything like that. And then I did meet somebody online who turned out to be my third husband. That one, I mean, it had its pros and cons, but ultimately it was the closest I ever came to really being in a relationship that I want. He's Jewish. He's extremely family oriented. His mother, his kids, very much into my mother and my kids, and very much into when we, planned a long-term relationship when I moved from Pittsburgh to New York to be with him. Really, the favorite part of him was that he wanted his kids and my kids, all the kids, to feel welcome. And we went and, as an older couple, instead of sizing down, sized up to a big 5-bedroom home, just so the kids know, like, there's a place for everybody. And those few years of the holidays together, and always him looking out for my mom, me looking out for his mom, like, it taught me a lot. Like, for me, it was so much closer to what a relationship needed to be, to feel like we're a family unit and I don't have to sacrifice that time with my family. Like, our social lives on the weekend was like taking his mom out, taking my mom out, and I enjoy that. That's not for everybody, but it made me very happy. Ultimately, he was diagnosed with glioblastoma and he died in 2019. I was incredibly brokenhearted when he passed, but I learned again from that I want and need to feel safe. I want to feel safe in being able to lean into my feminine side of my personality and feel comfortable that a man can lean into his masculine side. And again, that's not for everybody. That's not what a lot of people want to hear. It doesn't mean I need somebody to take care of me all the time. I'm independent financially and I figured a lot of stuff out and I feel good about that. But just feeling like someone has my back and feeling safe is a non-negotiable to me. And that's hard. How do you capture that? I don't even know. It doesn't mean that I have to get married again. Probably won't. It's not like I have those end goals of that. My end goals are being able to combine families, for his family, my family, everyone to be comfortable. And if we plan a weekend, but then be equally as happy with our time together, taking a hike, going to Costco, cooking in the kitchen, like doing all of those things together, but also happy to have an independent life as well. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I know for me, safety is the common theme. And I know that's going to be hard because trusting is, I've become so independent and happy independent with being able to do what I need to do, buy my own car, like I don't need to ask anyone's opinion, like things like that I'm wondering sometimes if it's too late for me, like if I could lean into somebody if I'm not too independent now. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
God damn, listen to you.
Because I'm happy. Like, so many people are like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, I'm gonna take a hike. I'm gonna sit by the pool. I'm gonna do and
I
I'm really
know.
happy with that. It's not like I feel lonely at all.
Right.
Political leanings? Do you care about their political leanings?
I do because I hate Trump.
Okay.
I do. Sue met somebody that I was kind of seeing, right, Sue? And that night we went out and
Oh
I didn't
my
realize he was a
God.
Trumpster because I don't
Pam,
ask right away.
okay,
Like
let's
I
just
don't
go back.
ask.
Pam said, I went to visit Pam and she's like, we're going on a date.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, this is, I don't know how you were in such a numbed out state. And this guy is like petting her arm and she's like completely her eyes are glassed over. He starts telling me what to order. He
Yes.
starts saying, you should get this. I'm like, what the actual fuck? And then I had said to Pam before, I'm like, is he a Trumpster? She said, no, he's vaccinated. But Pam, like we talked about your humor, that how much you love humor, and that you may not be the one to make the humor, but how much you like it. And you have your own, I don't know, ditziness about you that is fun too for the people that get to see it.
Like a silliness, a
Mhm.
quirkiness.
The people who get it, right?
Do you have a celebrity crush?
Yeah, and Billy Joel. So after his documentary and really understanding how emotionally messed up he is, maybe that's not so great to say, but I just do adore him. And when you talk about resilience, like he's come through so much. So not only is he incredibly talented, but he has had to rebuild himself over and over again. So yeah, I would say Billy Joel.
Pam, tell us more about what it is that you do, what you get out of the what joy it brings you, the work you do.
So I work for a big pharmaceutical company and I'm in research and development and particularly clinical trials, late phase clinical trials. So usually phase 2 and 3 primarily. And I able to assess the protocol on a scientific level and drill that down to what the anticipated challenges, the main challenges are going to be for both patients and our enrolling physicians and sites. And from there, change what we can change. So, how to impact that protocol and change it for the better, make it more patient centric and site centric. But then the parts that can't be changed to develop strategies to mitigate those barriers. And then drill that down a level more, tactics that align with those strategies. And it's incredibly gratifying to be able to see these trials enroll quicker and be evaluated sooner and go to the next phase or on to market. And the point is bringing new treatments to people that are waiting, people that are sick, people that are in hope, and bringing them new treatment options. So it's incredibly satisfying. And it became more so when my late husband was diagnosed with glioblastoma, and I worked not only now on a professional level, but a personal caregiver level to find him a trial that could either extend his life and or improve the quality of life. So I've been really fortunate to see it from every angle, to see clinical trials from every angle. And I'm just truly passionate about helping people feel better.
How would you say you do conflict? Are you conflict avoidant? Are you
I have my own motto or mantra. I'd rather be happy than right. I have no inclination or desire to argue my point. I mean, I'll have a conversation about what I believe in, but after a certain point, if I realize that that person just is coming from a different angle, I'm really have gotten pretty good at accepting that. It's okay. We're all coming from different angles, and I don't need to argue my point, and I don't need to be right. I'd rather smile and be happy. I have lived a whole life, and I kind of get to control my own happiness. No one else is going to control that. And I know
on these dating apps, talking to a lot of men, I've been told by men, and maybe this is important to know, that I can be intimidating. And the first time I heard that, I'm thinking, like me? Like I'm like thinking those these how can I be intimidating? Like I so don't look at myself that way. But for men who wants to control a situation,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
for the not
You're
for the
not a
right man.
pushover.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You hear what she
I'm
said? You're not a pushover. Yeah.
not but I wouldn't cause any kind of like scene. I would think I would let it go that night and then
Yeah.
just not ever see that person. Like I'm not interested in going out again. Like I'm not gonna start anything. I don't need to do that, and I don't need to be confrontational. But
Yeah.
in my head, I'd be like, "Ugh, I'm so done with this." Like, so that's different for me. Very different, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say you bring to a relationship? What do you think are your strengths that you have to offer somebody, a potential partner?
I think I am the most loyal person I know. I'm a bit old fashioned in that I really enjoy taking care of somebody. I'm a giver, I'm not a taker. So in a relationship, I'm really so happy, and I get so much happiness of thinking like, cooking the favorite meal, or planning a surprise, or, and, like I said, in loyalty, like not having somebody's back. And that's kind of what I
Okay.
had said wanted for myself. I don't know if I've really had that completely.
I know Sue loves you,
Oh
so
my God, my heart.
yeah. Yeah.
Well,
We went
I
through the
feel
trenches together.
if Sue is a guy, because I like men, she would be the perfect partner, because
You had a
we laugh
only if I
so
only
hard.
had a penis, I'd be perfect.
We laugh so hard together. I don't
We do
think
laugh so
anyone
hard.
in my life I ever laughed so much
Yeah.
as I do with
We
you.
have
Over nothing. Over
nothing. Okay, so that was Pam. And now we're going to hear a little bit from Pam's son, Howie. I specifically was asking Howie what kinds of things Pam likes to do. And here's what he had to say.
As I get older and kind of the parent child dynamic continues to shift in certain ways, and I get to kind of see my mom in a different light as, again, I have more life experience as an adult. I think that's been really really fun and cool to see. So to like get to see her and know her in some ways as more of a friend on top of being a wonderful parent, it's nice for me to also see kind of a fun side of her too. I mean, I live here in New York City, and I think so much of my time with her revolves around us being able to enjoy restaurants, and she loves to see Broadway shows. We do that. We try to do that as often as possible, where she'll come in and visit.
Okay, people, now it's up to you. Really, we're not kidding. People in the New York area, specifically Long Island, but a little beyond is fine too. It's time to do some work. Who do you know? Single men. How old, Sue?
She's 60. I think she would do anywhere to like 66. I don't know.
Okay. Single,
Mid-60.
great catches to mid 60. Who do you know? Your uncle, your father, your best friend, your neighbor. Don't be shy. Ask them if they would listen to the podcast, if they might, they can listen, they can hear Pam talk, they can see if they're interested. And if so, submit to our website using the catch form.
And also, if you want to see what Pam looks like, as we've talked about how gorgeous she is so often, you can go to our website, and there are photos of her, as well as photos of our other love seekers. So for anyone new to Calling All Cupids, if this is the first episode you're listening to, go back and check out the others.
Sounds good. All right, let's find matches for these people.
Hey, Thanks for hanging out with us. If you or someone you know is looking for love, reach out. Maybe you'll be the one to shoot that Cupid's arrow. We present new love seekers every episode, so subscribe to our podcast, Calling All Cupids, and help us grow the love by leaving a review.
Our website is called callingallcupids.com. You can also connect with us on social media. Check us out and help us spread the love.